What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about my first experience playing Sly 2 Band of Thieves. So I talked about in a video last week, I wanted to kind of almost make this a series. I have a lot of memories with my first time playing games, even watching movies, which we could do these videos on as well, and I want to talk about them. I want to be able to express them to you. And last week, we talked about Batman Arkham Knight, just kind of threw one out there to see how it would do. Did relatively good, so I wanted to try it for one of my personal favorites and a franchise that you guys may or may not know, hopefully you do know, I care deeply, deeply about. So this is just a kind of a personal retelling. I'll walk you through kind of what I felt about the game. And for Sly 2, I have a unique, I think everybody's experience is unique, but the way I went about Sly 2, I think is very different than the average person. So I want to hear from you guys in the comments as well. What are other games or movies you want me to do this with? And also, what was your first, experience with Sly 2? So, here's the deal. Sly 2, I actually returned to the store, and I'll explain this. So basically what happened is I never played Sly 1. Never. At the time, I should say. I actually have gone back. I've played Sly 1 in its entirety, and even not with the remastered collection, I actually played it like a couple years after 2 and 3, but I only played like one level. I watched my cousin play it. My cousin in Canada, for some reason, was playing Sly 1 when I went over to their house one day, and I watched, and that was the story with that. But at the time of Sly 2, when I first got it, I had never played Sly Cooper before in my life. And I've talked about this franchise before many times on the channel. This is one of the most fundamental franchises for gaming in my entire life, my childhood, but I would even say you could stretch it further. It still means the world to me even right now. But I got this game. I played the opening level. I played Dimitri's world, okay, so Paris, and then I returned the game. I literally returned the game, and I'll tell you why, and it's actually pretty pathetic, is it was too hard for me. I don't know why, and a funny thing with this is I remember certain things vividly, and you'll see this throughout these videos if I keep doing them. I did it with Arkham Knight 2. Some things I remember literally like they were yesterday, some things I don't remember whatsoever, and one of the things I don't remember whatsoever is how old I was. So Sly 2 came out in 2004, September of 2004. I'll continue the story and we can maybe piece it together. I re-got the game for Christmas. Okay, now I don't know if it was Christmas of 04 or if it was 05 or 06, whenever it was, okay? But my grandparents, again in Canada, now by the way, I'm a dual citizen. I was born in America, but my mom's Canadian, so I'm part, quote unquote, part Canadian. I have a dual citizenship there. So, we go over there for Christmas Eve, okay, to her parents or my grandparents in Canada, and they got me the game. That was a Christmas gift from them. So I remember literally clear as day opening the present, and everybody's open, so it's not just like me and everybody's watching me. I opened the present and it was Sly 2, and I remember telling my dad, like, I returned this game, like I couldn't beat this game, so I don't know, like, and maybe I was older than 2004, so maybe it was like a year or two later, but because I remember thinking, like, well, I don't want to be a jerk, I don't want to come off the wrong way, because they bought this for me for Christmas, but I almost hated it. Like, I did not like it. I couldn't beat the game, and I was like, well, what do I do? Well, like, I can't tell them that. So what I ended up doing is I played it, and the rest, literally, guys, is history. This game is the best, the absolute best, and I don't know if my hands were like paralyzed or my brain literally was just like left my head the first time I played it. But I mean, it's not a hard game. Okay, at times I would say maybe depending on your age, I would say maybe it's a little difficult depending on what world or what character or like boss villain you're talking about. But I just have the best memories with this. I don't think there's a game that I have beaten more times than Sly 2. Actually, Sly 2 and Sly 3, if I look back in the history of how many times I've beaten certain games, has to be up there, like in terms, and maybe even the highest, because I feel like I've beaten Sly 2 at least 10 times, let's say. In fact, I would almost do speed runs on myself for Sly 2. Like, I would say, okay, how fast can I beat Dimitri? How fast can I beat that area? And I feel like I could do it extraordinarily quick, right? I would like bookline it to the different missions and all that stuff. But no, this game is powerful, and this game's story is insane. Like, I'll never forget when like the group splits up and you get betrayed and you're going through the Contessa's basically story arc, and it's very dark, it's very scary, and I wasn't like shivering, I wasn't like on my bed like with my face ice in my knees, like not watching. But I was like, wow, this is kind of dark. That like I love these characters already, and it's like this is scary being apart from one another. But even looking at it now, like obviously you have experiences when you're first playing it, and I'm talking about that. But like the jump between 1 and 2. We talk about jumps in between games in the first place, right? I've talked about it before. Like Uncharted 1 to 2 is an enormous jump that's very hard to replicate, and it's been done a few times here and there. There's games in between, not just the first and second, but second and third or third and fourth, that there's been like generational leaps, which obviously help, but just leaps in general. Sly 1 to 2 is absolutely one of those. Sly 2 to 3 is very similar. I adore. I really struggle to say which one's my favorite because I know 2 is kind of looked at as the best. I feel like I love 3 more, but that's obviously a topic for a different video. But in terms of Sly 2, again, it means so much to me because it was the first one. It was the first one I ever played, and I just it's so good beginning to end. All 3 characters, all of their missions, all like everything about that game is perfect. It's literally perfect. It really defined my childhood. And what's funny too, again, in terms of remembering and not remembering and how much I say I care versus how much maybe I cared in the moment, when I beat 2, I don't even think I sought 3 out. You know what I mean? Like if I got it in Christmas of 04, I feel like I was only 7 or 8. Now, I'm too lazy to do mental math right now to figure out my age. But let's say I was somewhere in the range of 7 to 9 when I played and beat Sly 2. We had dial-up. Which hopefully you guys know what that is. Otherwise, you're going to make me feel really old, even though I'm not old, I think, at all. But, like, we had dial-up, so I didn't even go on the computer, you know what I mean, at the time. So I don't even know how I knew there was a Sly 3. And I remember Sly 3 I also got for Christmas. I did not get that. If it didn't come out Christmas Day, I didn't get Sly 3 day 1 either. But I remember I got that game on Christmas. I played it on Christmas. I had the 3D goggles. That's a whole, man, I mean, that the memories are flooding back for that one. But Sly 2 really started off. I know I didn't go too much in depth of, mission 4 and this, you know what I mean? I didn't do that. But Sly 2 literally started the entire thing. It made enough of an impact that not only did eventually I get Sly 3, but I eventually played 1 through the remastered collection. I've played 2 countless times. And honestly, it's been enough time where, well, and here's the funny thing. I'll end it on like a funny story. So if you were to quiz me right now on every single mission, every single, and I know I'm saying world, it's like location, right? Like open world section. So I truly know in my heart of hearts that I know every single thing about Sly 2. If you were to quiz me now, I would sound very hypocritical because I probably wouldn't be able to give you many answers. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be. So, but I will tell you this, if I could look you in the eye, if you were to come over to my place and I look you in the eye, I would. If I play this game tomorrow, if I just play it, every single thing I would know. You know what I mean? And I think because like that alone is very special to me, that I can jump in and I can say, oh, I have to do this mission, this, and also a funny thing is I'll have orders. So you know how obviously some things you have to do in order, but most things you don't. There's no order for them in terms of, oh, there's 4 missions out there and you can handle them in whichever order you do. I always did them in order. Like, well, not in order, in my own order. I think I always went Sly, Murray, Bentley. So any Sly missions I would always do first. So if there was 2 Sly and then 1 and 1, I would do both the Sly ones, then I would do the Murray one, then I would do the Bentley one. Sometimes I think I would switch Murray and Bentley. That was my order, and I did that for the entirety of Sly 2 and the entirety of Sly 3 as well. That's just the way I did. So yeah, very special game. Easily have beaten it 10 plus times. I don't remember every single thing about it right now, but I know without a shadow of a doubt that if I play the game tomorrow, I'd be able to be like, oh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, and I don't think I can do that for most games, and it's been forever since I've played. I feel very confident in maybe I should do it as a test and record myself. I feel very confident in that, and I haven't played Sly. I've watched it. Like, I'll watch the cutscenes sometimes for fun, just in my downtime. But I haven't played 1 through 3 since the remastered collection came out, and I don't even remember when that happened. 8 years ago, maybe? So it's been literally forever since I've played it, but the memories are still right there. So let me know, guys, in the comments below, What do you think? What was your first time playing Sly 2 like? What was your first time experiencing Sly Cooper in the first place like? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel, bell icon turned on. If you guys super like this stuff and you want to support us through financial means, which you don't have to, but if you want to, it would be much appreciative. Patreon and YouTube memberships, we have both of them. They're the exact same thing, just in 2 different spots, depending on where you guys would feel comfortable. We have 2 different tiers. Again, Patreon, the link's in the description, and the join button is obviously next to the subscribe button for YouTube memberships. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know if there's any more of these, topics you want me to do, and I'll see you all on the next video.